Hello, I'm Marcus V. Calvert, and welcome to Tales Unlimited Kitchen Rants. It is the 27th of May, almost 4 a.m. Just spat out a story last minute. Not like me, but I've had a few days off, and I guess it's made me a little soft. I hope Memorial Day was safe and or meaningful. Um, the story is called Hanging Night. Fantasy. It involved I wanted to basically make it like a law enforcement thing, like a bounty hunter, or somebody who goes off and collects bad guys. And then I just started taking the cookbook, antagonist cookbook to you noobs, and started creating characters. And what I created was a crook with necromancer tendencies. He liked playing with people's souls. And I created basically a detective who could stop him. And then I started writing it from someone else's perspective. And when I was generating her character, I'm like, this is interesting. And here's what happened. This girl named Baka, fast asleep in her house. Think a two-story rectangular stone house that she moves from town to town. And she can literally say a word of magic and it becomes a saddlebag. She puts it on a horse and she rides away. And she finds the place that she wants, a nice patch of dirt somewhere, and says some words. Boom. Now, is she a mystic? No. She was raised by a warlock hunter, as in bounty hunter who happens to be a warlock. Her mom, human, cheated on him and got pregnant and died in childbirth. And it might have been her daddy who killed her. But he took the kid in either way, out of either guilt, obligation, raised her as his own, strict but distant. She has her mother's looks. It just reminds him of what happened. So she doesn't know the drama. And daddy taught her a huge chunk of stuff. And then he'd go off every so often and just, kill evil mystic, monster, or a whole bunch of bandits. So you may have like a bandit crew of like 50 guys. They'd send the warlock, right? And you have bounty hunters of different, like I guess you could say D&D style character classes. Like some were archers, or swordsmen, trackers, lawmen. You'd have some mystics in a bunch, and then you just have some heavy hitters. And one of them was her dad. And then one day her dad dies, but he made sure that she would never be helpless because, well, it's not like she was gifted the same way he was. So he made her lots of little toys over the years. One of them was her favorite piece, a sword. Um, Not some fancy Excalibur thing that gleams runes, and the moment you unsheath it, the sky turns golden. No, 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 no. Just a simple sword, maybe about as long as her arm. Um, no symbols, no glyphs, no markings, no runes. Um, Sharp, dull looking, looks like 100 other blades you might find on the streets, right? But it can only be wielded by her. She calls it like Mjolnir, it pops into her hand, and as long as she's wearing this sword, it can give her the skills of anyone she meets, including him. So just by wearing the sword, he taught her everything he knew. And she basically joins the same guild as her father, Hunter's Guild, and these guys go after criminals and da 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 da. So what does she do? She's a scout. So she'll go to a crossroads town where caravans come through, and these are caravans that will get hit. And she's like, okay, all right. She also sees who's scouting out the caravans, and she might kill them, or she might warn the caravan, you're going to get hit probably around that bridge. Take this other route. It'll give you an extra day, but no one dies. And she saves lives that way. And then she basically says, okay, this guy tried to do this, or the ones who don't listen, they got hit by this crew. um, Adds the crimes to the list, the bounty on the target goes up, and sooner or later someone worthy goes off and kills the target. So she's part of the process, but she's more secondary, right? She hasn't really taken out too many guys and collected bounties, but uh, her actions have earned her some unwanted attention from the bad guy in the story. So she's sleeping and someone's pounding on her door. It's a wounded lover, and and this lover's been targeted by the bad guy. That's all I'm going to say. But yes, the story for now is called The Hanging Night, but I think I'm going to change it. It sounds a little bit too much like a Western, but still, it has potential. Just needs to be cleaned up a bit. Um, I don't like writing these last minute. I was doing so well, but I got kind of roped into the mystery project. So, c'est la vie. All right, I just thought I'd put it out there. I'm Marcus V. Calver. This is Tales Unlimited. Please like and subscribe. iVillain.net. That's where the 21 books are, available on Amazon and Kindle. What are my 21 books? Well, there are collections of short stories for those who want to read about unlikely heroes or schemes. Schemes is definitely the darker of the two. That's 6 books. iVillain, 4-book series. What would happen if a supervillain builds a multi-billion-dollar criminal empire only to lose it and then be forced to fight crime? And no one knew his past, so they thought he was a joke and that he'd be dead in a matter of days. Well, no. And then battery series, what would happen if you took 200 prompts, some writing advice, and simply said, hey, write short stories until you know you're ready to write bigger things. Do not write the novel yet. You're probably not ready for it. As a matter of fact, having written some bad novels myself, I can almost assure you you're not ready yet. So why not just start small and practice? There's a standalone book called Tyrant's Bane, novel, fantasy mixed with some superhero stuff. What would happen if a paramedic goes to his bachelor party, gets kidnapped, dumped on the fantasy world, and the people who did this didn't know that he was the bastard son of a world-class supervillain with powers he swore he'd never use, but oh well, this world that he's on is doomed. So he's going to try to save it. And lastly, the Antagonist Cookbook series. 4 books. Just dropped the 4th one if you're interested. What would happen if you basically took 200 character templates from a role-playing game you've never heard of, gave the recipes some strange and bizarre names, and the ingredients in each of these templates are superpowers. So you think of an idea like, okay, I want to create an evil bandit, and you flip randomly and you have something intriguing within a minute. And then you think, okay, I want to do someone who's not really a law enforcement type, and boom, wow, I have a part-time dabbler type occultist with her daddy's magic sword. And I generated both of them for this story in about a minute, if. That's what I love about the cookbooks. You can just make up so much stuff. Ugh. Oh well, enough ranting. I got stuff to do. Till next time.